What's up, guys? It's Gaz, and welcome to another Warframe video. I really appreciate everyone that voted on the video choice for today. So, since you guys voted on it, we are going to have a basically really good intrinsics farm. If you don't know what an intrinsic is, it's these new things for Empyrean, aka Railjack. I don't know what I'm going to call it at this point. I'm probably just going to call it Railjack all the time. So it's these things right here. They're going to basically let you level up either your engineering, your gunning, your piloting, or your tactical. So these things are basically, you level them up if you get XP. This little bar at the top is going to fill up. It's like leveling up a weapon pretty much. Every time the bar is all the way filled to the circle, you get another point. So big thing here, guys. Before we even start going over anything here, affinity booster is going to give you double the speed of getting these points. So you're going to want an affinity booster if you're trying to efficiently farm this stuff. You can buy them in the market. They can come from Baro Katir. They can come from drops. They can come from all these different places. I usually just buy them for plat, though, because that's a dependable source, and they're like 40 plat for 3 days, which is, it's whatever. That's just how much they cost. So, yeah, we're going to get going over some strategies here. Keep in mind, I already know there'll be lots of hot fixes and lots of changes for Railjack this week. I know that for a fact, guys. So, this is just how it currently is. This is the best stuff that currently works. So let's get into it, okay? Honestly, putting this video out might get some stuff nerfed, because I'm putting lots of the strats in this video. Not every strat possible. There's still some that, like... Let's just get into it, okay? We have two different strategies for you on farming this stuff. I also am going to shout out my buddy Liam, twitch.tv/LiamXP. He is probably one of the best Railjack players I've ever played with so far, and he helped me get the secondary strategy. Because at first it was only going to be the first strategy, but once he showed me his fully upgraded ship pretty much, we got a secondary strategy if you already have lots of the Railjack stuff upgraded and you're trying to grind out those last couple levels. So, but let's go over. With this first strategy, guys, there's people who have already hit rank 9 with the gunner. People are probably getting close to rank 10 at this point too, so let's go over it. There will be some gameplay for the secondary strategy, but I have not done this one specifically myself. I just know that this is a strategy that does exist, and this should get you good affinity. This could work on any planet, but if you're doing it on the Veil Proxima, those enemies are highest level, they give you the most affinity per kill. So keep that in mind. You can do this on Saturn, you can do it on Earth if you really need to. So, okay, here we're going to go over it right now. So this strategy is going to revolve around having a 4-person Amisha, like, kill squad pretty much. So you're going to park your Railjack ship at the edge of the map, and you're going to have... okay, this is ideally, you'd have 3 Garudas and 1 Wisp. The Wisp is going to use high strength and duration. The Garuda's build doesn't even matter, as long as the Garuda is low health, because all that matters here is Garuda's passive ability. Because Garuda's passive ability will buff Archwing guns in the Railjack missions while you're flying around. So, but since you need to have low health with Garuda, you're actually not going to place down the healing moat with Wisp. So just basically place your green moat with Wisp right next to the door where everyone's about to leave and get in their Amisha. Amisha is 100% required for this. I mean, you could technically not do it with Amisha, but that person's going to be dying a lot and getting rezzed. So I recommend everyone have an Amisha. We have a build on Amisha from like a couple days ago. That build's great. It's exactly what you want for this. High strength, all the good like Archwing mods basically. Another really essential thing for this strategy is a good arc gun. So there's the Singus, the Phaedra, the Imperator Vandal. It might not be the top tier thing, but it still works great, even in the Veil Proxima missions. So you can still use the Imperator Vandal. I'm going to quickly show you my Singus build. It's not maxed out yet. I'm still formatting it because, to be honest, I never thought I'd have to like rebuild this thing. So the general gist of what you want on this, guys, you want high stash chance. And I heard this strat from somebody in the comments. This is actually a pretty good idea. So since the slash damage type becomes the tearing effect in the Railjack missions, that tearing effect is going to shred the ship's armor and make it so your damage is ramping up faster. Maybe putting Zodiac Shred in your build and getting it more weight into slash would be good. You could alternatively put the one that makes it weighted into puncture on here, which is called Quasar Drill. I haven't leveled that one up yet, though. So I'm just going to do this one for now. And then you want to get, like I said, high stash chance, high multi-shot. Some fire rate wouldn't hurt either. If you want to get a Riven, go for it. This is not a God roll. I have multi-shot on here. A God roll will most likely be multi-shot, damage, honestly, maybe plus slash, just to make it... So the reason you put plus slash in here is it makes it more likely to proc that slash effect, which is going to rend the armor of these ships. And the way that the high-level ships work is, like, the armor scaling is just kind of, like, an oof, so you have to like remove their armor somehow. That's why crit doesn't work as well, unfortunately. And before I get into like what elementals you put on there, I'm just gonna let you know, guys. DE has not gave us official information on this yet, so I'm kind of wanting to wait on them to give us official information on what the best elemental types or like what's going on exactly here. So do keep that one in mind. I know we are getting more information on this soon, so let's keep going into it. So we have the necessary equipment at the top. Frame choices are covered. The Garuda build really doesn't matter at all. And then some unnecessary stuff, but what's still helpful is Vazarin Mending Unity. That's the first little node you see on Vazarin. That gives you an increased affinity range. That's not super helpful, but it's going to help you a little bit for leveling up an Archwing because there's so much space between you guys. You do want to make sure you share all the XP from every kill. Energy pads will be really nice for making sure your Amisha has energy at all times. Keep in mind you can't restore energy with an energy pad while Amisha's third ability is up. But that third ability is probably why you're going to be needing to pop an energy pad in the first place, because it drains so much. Also, Arcane Avenger does work in Archwing. Definitely not necessary, but can help improve your DPS and your kill speed on these fighters, and the cruise ships for that matter. And then at the bottom, we have a step-by-step process. So, number 1, park the ship. Make sure Garuda's health is low. So basically cast your 3 twice with Garuda, you'll be at 2 health and get your full damage buff. And then Wisp place the speed mote near the exit. And then all 4 of the players, basically everyone exit the railjack at the same time and go hunt down those fighters all in Amisha with arc guns. And then you stay next to each other, you'll share the XP for kills. That XP for the kills is going towards your intrinsics. And if you're on like the Void Proxima, you can get like 20-ish. I did a mission earlier, we got like 20 in a mission, killing everything. Not with this strat. With the other strat, we got like 20 in like a decently long mission, killing all the fighters with the strategy number 2, which we'll go over in a second. And then definitely keep an eye on the ship. If the ship starts going into a fail state, use the rank 4 tactical ability to teleport back to the ship. You don't need to teleport everybody back, but you might want to because then one guy's not getting XP, and that's kind of not fair for him. So that's strategy number 1. Hopefully, without actual gameplay on the screen that makes sense to you guys. It is the most effective that I've heard so far, if you don't have a fully pimped out railjack like we're about to show. Okay, so let's go on to strategy number 2. Strategy number 2, this one is going to require some more explanations for sure. We're actually going to go to the dry dock itself so I can start explaining this stuff to you and showing the mods I'm talking about. So this requires lots of stuff. This is definitely not for everybody at all, but we're going to go over some of it just so you guys can get a taste of what this stuff looks like too. So I'm going to move this over here so you can keep reading it while I'm going over some of this gear. So needed gear, and then prepare yourself because this is a lot of stuff. So the Cryophon Ice Turret for the railjack is the best bet for this, because what this entire strategy is revolving around buffing the crap out of the ice turret and basically one-shotting the Veil level fighters. This strategy was created by Liam, or he's the first person I've heard that has used it. We're basically going all in on buffing the turrets of the railjack, and there's lots of mods that buff them. We're also doing something that's pretty hilarious, and it's really stressful, but it does work. We're actually going to be using the Last Stand mod. Good luck getting a reactor that's this powerful, by the way. So we're actually going to be using the Last Stand mod, which gives you increased turret damage when your health is low. This is going to sound silly, but you're actually going to not heal the ship. You want the ship to be in terrible repair and low health all the time. And we're going so in on this strategy, guys, we're not even putting health mods on the ship. Do not equip Bulkhead for this because it takes longer to get the low health. So you don't need to go this hard in it. But another thing we're also using is Breach Quanta. So what Breach Quanta does, let's actually just put it on the screen right now so you can understand. Which button is that? This one. So Breach Quanta is going to temporarily stall hull breaches for, I think it's up to a minute. So basically you're in a failure state with those breach hulls. You activate Breach Quanta. All the stuff is stopped, and you have your full crazy turret damage thing with the ice turret, and you're just one-shotting for an entire minute straight with no stress at all. So you're basically just invincible during this time. So that's fun, but do keep in mind this strategy is not beginner friendly. You need a dedicated, reliable engineer, an extremely reliable engineer. If your engineer is bad, you just lose. It's just how it is. So getting back into the strategy, I'm going to go over this stuff step by step just so we can go over it as well. Low health, turret-based shield. So we went over all the needed gear. There's definitely a degree of skill required to this as well. You need to be able to hit stuff with the cryo turret We'll get a little bit of gameplay in here as well. This is me trying to hit stuff with the cryo turret. If you hit them when you're low health, it's gonna crap on you. So make sure you get good with that aiming. And if it crits, it's definitely gonna one-shot. It's gonna like 2 or 3 shot when everything is not super buffed. Also, keep in mind, I don't have a very highly upgraded gunner, so I'm basically just using a bunch of his stuff. And also, these are Mark II ice turrets. These aren't the Mark III ice turrets I have in my ship. He was saying he wants to get the Mark III ice turrets. Still, he does not have those. So this is not the maximum damage you're currently seeing. And then see, like right here, I'm waiting until the timer goes down to 20 seconds, and then I'm going to heal this catastrophic failure, because we want to keep that increased DPS as long as we possibly can. So it does look weird. I'm not putting out the fires. I'm not putting out the little cracks on the ship. I'm not going to put the electric one out either. We don't care about our health, because the way that the health gating and stuff works and the invincibility periods, you can get away with not healing the ship. Pretty much only when it's completely necessary you have to heal the ship. So yeah, it's pretty good. Let's keep going over the strategy. So the only thing that's necessary, like besides all the crazy gear and stuff, is you need a Pendle Engineer. Then the frame choice doesn't really matter, so you can just run like the good stuff that we already know about. Wisp, Wukong, Neja's good, Hildren's good with her shield gating passive, although not necessary if you're running Amisha. But the thing is on this one, guys, the reason the frame choice is not important because you're going to be staying in the ship the whole time. Like it's better for resources as well, because everyone's going to be in the ship using the turrets. The engineer is just going to be camping in the back, taking care of boarding crews with melee, or healing up the catastrophic failures whenever they pop up. So everyone basically has a role, but you have 2 gunners instead of 1 boarder. So moving on, some helpful stuff to have that you don't need is the Mark III shield that gives you increased damage at low health. There's another thing that does that, so it's pretty nice. And then also, do not equip Bulkhead. Besides that, you can use it's up to personal preference. Everything that buffs turrets and gives you turret like heat reduction and stuff, that's going to be what you want on there. But besides that, like you can use Tether. The battle avionic is really good for this. If you have it, they need to give us the drop table. Once they give us the drop tables, I'll be able to tell you where this stuff comes from. But as it stands right now, I'd have to just remember where these things drop from and what enemy it dropped from. So I can tell you right now that it seems like Outrunners, I think they're called, they have the highest chance to drop salvage, aka like weapons, gear, engines, etc. like that. So keep an eye out for those guys. Make sure you kill them every time you see them. And then let's go over the step-by-step process. So as you saw in the gameplay, play the mission as normal, but just don't repair the fires, electric, and non-failure state, hull breaches. They should not be repaired until like 15-20 seconds and before the failure timer's up. So it's a little bit stressful. Make sure everyone's on the same page. You definitely are going to want to put a squad together for both of these strategies, because if you have someone that's not on the same page as you guys, they're going to either just be like annoying you or throwing pretty much for what you're trying to do. So definitely get a squad together, say like hosting Intrinsic Farm, Archwing strat, or if you have like this really amazing Railjack, like not even I have this completely maxed out yet, guys, because I am getting so wrecked on getting a reactor to drop. You could also say that as well. Like say like I have the turret crazy build. I need a reliable engineer and 2 good gunners. And then the second step, like, there really isn't a second step. It's just like if you're doing this right, you're gonna be basically one-shotting all the fighters. You will definitely be one-shotting them on Saturn for sure, and you also will be like two-shotting them basically on the Veil. And then of course you're gonna one-shot them on Earth because those guys are babies. Rinse and repeat. Once the fighters and cruise ships are done, you can tackle the bases together. You also get XP when you're inside the base, so maybe work on that one as a team as well if you can manage that. And yeah, that's basically it. They're probably going to nerf this stuff, to be honest. So if you want to go in on it, get a Cygnus Riven, get a Phaedra Riven, get an Imperator Vandal Riven. Sure, you don't need a Riven for this. You can still kill them with a decent status build. Do keep in mind as well, like I mentioned in the video yesterday, the Puncture and Slash do debuff the enemies and make them take more damage. If you're running Corrosive, it's going to break down into 2 different base elementals. There's no combined elementals in Railjack. As far as like if saying radiation is better, I know it says that they're weak to radiation in the Codex, but I still need actual data from DE before I am going to recommend radiation over corrosive or vice versa, guys. So when you break down corrosive, it is going to make enemies, like basically the ship's going to get rad procced. It's hard to explain these things, but it's called chem, and the enemy ship is going to get shot by other ships and not attack you. And then the electric one, I believe that one is going to is it slow the ship down? I don't have these all memorized. I definitely need to watch my own video from yesterday to get this stuff memorized. But yeah, also you can mod cold on there to slow stuff down as well. But basically everyone's on the ship, you get more resources, it's much easier, but it does require a lot of extra stuff. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. Sorry there wasn't a ton of gameplay. It was supposed to be a Wisp engineer video as well, but I realized there was a lot of explaining to do for these strategies, so we'll probably do another Wisp build in the future. Also, this build didn't work out. I tried it. You want to put more tank ability in here because when you're getting boarded by level 90 boarders, you need to have a little bit more health or they might just like destroy you immediately. So like I probably would run like a variant of this with possibly a little bit more duration if I could fit it on here, or maybe like take transient fortitude off and just like bite the bullet. Maybe put I put prime continuity here. There we go. So now our motes are going to last for 70 seconds, and we still have like an 83% fire rate buff. This build, perfect. Of course, got a couple weird ranked mods, but that's just how it is on this channel. And then we would throw it on Arcane Avenger if we were doing the Garuda strat. So yeah, you don't really need the other arcanes. If you have double Avenger, there you go. That's like, was it like 60% crit chance on your arc gun? And then if you're building for status and crit combined, it's hybrid and it's really deadly. So, yep, I will talk to you guys next time. I hope that you found this helpful. If you do want to share this with people, go for it. It's definitely, don't do this in public though, guys. Don't expect people to be doing this in public because it's not the normal strategy. But keep in mind as well, level 10 requires like 1,024 points of this, so you're going to be needing to grind this for a while either way. I got 20 from like a Veil run earlier. So 20, you're going to be doing this a lot, okay? So I'll talk to you guys next time. If there was any updates on this, I'll probably make a new version of it in the future. So yeah, we'll see. Peace, guys.